Here we go, another Sunday edition. It is live. It is the Sports Rush. I am Brett Rump. Glad to have you with us on this Sunday evening. Adam Lundy is going to be coming up here in just a moment. Also on the way in this show, we'll talk to Fieldhouse Files' Scott Agness because it is that time of year. Pacers getting their season underway with some preseason action. What do we know so far about the Pacers? What is this lineup going to look like without Tyrese Halliburton? The Pacers have already made a couple of roster moves. We'll get all caught up with Scott Agness. Plus, we've got to put a bow on the WNBA season because it officially wrapped up on Friday night as the Las Vegas Aces completed the sweep against the Phoenix Mercury. And in doing so, I think it almost makes, with an asterisk, the Indiana Fever the runner-ups of this season because they gave the Aces the best series. But officially, the Aces are champions once again. It's 3 out of the last 4 years for the Las Vegas Aces. The Fever, we don't know what they're going to look like next year, to be honest. We don't know what this whole league is going to look like next year, if there will even be a next year. And we'll ask Scott his thoughts about where this league moves forward. And can Kathy Engelbert continue to be the WNBA commissioner, or do I have to take over? That's going to be the question for Scott Agness when he joins us coming up in a little bit. But, of course, earlier today, we had Colts football as the Colts were at home taking on the Arizona Cardinals and old friend Jacoby Brissett. And Brissett had basically almost a Pro Bowl type day. Go figure. I mean, that's kind of what you'd expect, that he would come in, play way above what his norm is, and the Colts somehow survive a lot of self-inflicted mistakes. They did not look good. Their personnel depleted by injuries, and the secondary didn't look good. I didn't like the game plan defensively, but that may have gone hand in hand with the personnel that was available and what they could actually execute as far as stunts or blitzes or whatever packages they might have at their disposal. But whatever it was, the Colts had to survive, and they've got just enough offense that they were able to outscore the Arizona Cardinals and win a close one, 31-27. And to talk about it, we are joined by Adam Lundy.
Hey, how you doing?
Monday. And I don't know, Adam, maybe we will actually define this show as the COVID edition.
Yeah, you've been struck down by the virus, my man. You're on the mend, slowly but surely, but still definitely rough from what I've been hearing from you, my
I
man.
have not heard of anybody who had COVID since like 2021.
Yeah, you're out of fashion at this point.
I know. I've taken a couple of tests over the last 2-3 years. You know, whenever you get symptoms that, you get the head cold and you feel a little feverish, it's like, well, I'll take a test just to make sure I'm not exposing anyone. And that was kind of my situation here. Of course, we talked about the fact that last weekend I attended a wedding, which we had like 225, 230 guests. It ended up being a super spreader event because I feel like there's other people that may have gotten it. And if they didn't get COVID, they did get colds. But here's what's really strange about this whole sequence of what's happened to me is my wife, my oldest son, my youngest son, my one of their girlfriends, they all got a bad cold. And their colds all started. Now, remember, we were at the wedding last Saturday night. Sunday, everybody went home. By Sunday night, Monday, my wife was feeling it. By Monday night, my sons were feeling it. And by Tuesday, I was told that my son's girlfriend was the sickest among any of them. Every one of them took a test between Tuesday and Wednesday. Every one of the tests was negative. So on Wednesday, when I started to get some cold symptoms, almost like an allergy, it's like you get a little bit of watery eyes and you feel a little tingle in your sinuses, but not anything that that made it uncomfortable for me. A little bit of a sore throat that I woke up with on Wednesday morning, but overall there was nothing that made me think, oh, I think I might have COVID. And so I proceeded about my day. If you did see me on Wednesday or Thursday and you're finding out about this now, I apologize.
Yeah.
So,
Man.
everybody had taken a test. I thought I had what they had. But
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
Friday morning, it took a serious turn to the worse. And I checked one of the boxes that I had in a cabinet. It had been sitting up there, and I thought, let me check the date. The date was April of 2025. Now, I know what you're going to say. That's expired, man. So I thought
Right.
I'd take it anyway because it does say that it will last for almost ever with a positive, but as it gets older, it may not recognize the virus and could be a false negative. So I thought I'd take it anyway. And I knew I probably would have to go get another test if it was negative, but I thought it's in the cupboard. I'll take it. And Adam, I think I might have told you this.
Yeah, you did.
I was still putting the drops in the one end, and the other end was already lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, you lit that thing up, man, like the Santa downtown.
Yeah, I'm putting in drops, and I look over and I see this pink line just blowing up. And of course, I had two friends that had to crack the joke, say, "Well, congratulations, you're pregnant." Not pregnant.
But yeah, no, we do hope you get on the recovery mend here and to get back to 100% here soon.
And so I don't know where I'm at in the cycle of things. You know, you never know because these things are like a roller coaster, and that's what my last 3 days has been. It's been, feeling cold symptoms, blowing my nose, feeling better for a while, getting a burst of energy, and then all of a sudden, bam, I can't move. I can't get out. And for those that have not experienced COVID in a while and they're wondering what the current strain here, I will just tell you my personal experience is that yes, it's pretty much like a cold. Most of the symptoms have been cold related. I have been fortunate that I have not had any kind of serious shortness of breath at this point. Knock on wood. I hope that continues. I have had mild fever, but only on occasion. It has not been persistent. And the worst symptom I have had is I am totally wiped out of energy. Just, I mean, literally, I will collapse when this show is over. This is the first I've been in an upright position in like 2 days because I just don't have the energy to do it.
So basically what you're saying is everybody watching right now or watching in the future needs to hit that subscribe button because you're pulling through an injury for the team right now.
That's right. I'm playing injured.
You are.
I'm playing injured.
So,
And and the other symptom that has been really strange for me now, I have smell, I have taste.
That's good.
But the other symptom that is very prevalent and extremely uncomfortable is the muscle pain.
Yeah, you were saying you're on the pain meds.
I've broken bones that didn't hurt as bad as the pain is like from the inside of the muscle out. I mean, it's like you can't rub it. You can't do anything. And so I've been taking Tylenol. That's been at least providing some relief, but it's like a throbbing deep muscle pain that is really aggravating. And
yeah,
so
I hope that's gone soon.
Dealt with that. Told you it's a little scratchy, and occasionally as I talk, that's going to happen. So
hey, I mean, I know
like
tomorrow
I'm breaking down and just
breaking down like the Colts defense on third down stops today.
Oh
My
man,
goodness.
okay, let's get started. Let's talk
We
about the
can get into
Colts
this
today.
My
Basically,
goodness.
it was almost a game of giveaway. It was like the Colts would score, but they'd give it right back because they couldn't get any stops. And let's talk first about what happened before the game because it did have an impact, I think, on the defense because Mooney Ward, their Pro Bowl corner, who has been a lockdown corner and has played unbelievably well in Lou Anarumo's defense, he ended up in a collision, and many of you have seen the video of it. It's unexplainable what Ogletree was doing out there, running right into his path, and then a head-to-head collision that knocked Ward to the turf, and he ends up with a concussion, his second concussion in the last month or so, 4 or 5 weeks, which means probably he will be out not only this game, probably next game when the Colts go up against Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers.
Still in San Diego's hearts, but yeah, I mean, that's going to be huge. And we saw how much it affected the secondary today. I mean, it was a third stringer and then basically 2 practice squatters out there as cornerbacks or backs for the Colts. It was ugly, and it made Jacoby Brissett look like, I don't know, Patrick Mahomes or friggin' Tom Brady out there.
And clearly Arizona started to figure out where the weaknesses were and started to expose them. And they went with crossing routes in man-to-man against Edwards, and Edwards just could not cover anyone.
No. Consistently burned.
He got burned 3-4 times on passes where they continued to target him. And he even was in the vicinity, but he just didn't have quite the right position, or he took a bad angle for the football. It was bad. And then he whiffed on 2 or 3 tackles. There was one on the edge, and this was in the first half, where they were running a sprint out, a sweep out to the sideline, and they were looking for a lane to cut up field, and the Colts kept stretching it out. It got all the way almost to the sideline, and that's where the corner is. And once you've contained, you've got to come up and make the tackle. And he contained, the guy cut up field, and he went to wrap him up and just whiffed on him. And the guy took it for 12 yards down the sideline. That can't happen. And it happened later in the game in the second half. Same thing. Twice he gave up big plays. So clearly that is a spot that if Ward is not going to be in that position, they've got to upgrade that. They cannot live with that type of coverage, that type of tackling. They've got to update that. That really hurt today. I thought the secondary as a whole was not real good. I thought Zaire Franklin was terrible. And
oh my goodness, that one mistake on that third down stop that just could have been gotten him off the field, and then you just tackle a dude like 5 seconds after the ball sails by. I have no idea what he was thinking on that one.
Yeah, and it ends up leading to a touchdown that gives the Cardinals the lead, and the guy who got beat on the touchdown play was Zaire Franklin, who didn't have coverage. He was behind his man. And so it's like, that's the double whammy. You make the mistake that puts the other team in a position to get a go-ahead touchdown, and then you can't cover your guy, so they score the go-ahead touchdown. Bad all around. And the Colts defense was a nightmare, I think, almost all day long. But fortunately, the Colts offense is elite. I mean, offensively, what they were able to do with pushing around Arizona, the offensive line was terrific. Jonathan Taylor, what hard running for Jonathan Taylor. JT was just banging it. I mean, he was hitting the hole and then carrying guys 3, 4, 5 yards after contact. Great day for Jonathan Taylor. Put that game on his shoulders and led the win. Daniel Jones wasn't perfect. Had some throws where he was slightly behind guys, but Alec Pierce bailed him out with an incredible catch in traffic in a seam there in that second half, and that was a huge catch for Alec Pierce. Michael Pittman had a similar play that went off his hands where the ball was just a step or two behind, but Daniel Jones was efficient enough. A couple of good decisions, getting the ball to Josh Downs a couple of times. I thought Downs had one of his better games, too. I mean, he came up with some big catches, looked for extra yards after the catch. Michael Pittman was very quiet. Arizona clearly wanted to take him away and did. Tyler Warren was a beast in the first half into the early second half. My son had him on a parlay, 64.5 yards. He took the over for Tyler Warren receiving yards. Tyler Warren had 63 yards early in the third quarter, and he finished with 63 yards.
Yeah.
Through the parlay.
Kind
But
of seemed to stop going to him a little bit, but
overall, I thought the story was the Colts offense is good enough. It's elite enough that it was able to overcome the deficiencies that the Colts had defensively, and there were plenty of them. And when the defense did have to finally make a stop at the end of the game on fourth down, they might have got the benefit of a flag that stayed in the pocket, didn't get thrown. But it was also, I thought, a brilliant defensive move by Lou Anarumo to switch up coverage. So they did not have Jonathan Edwards matched up on McBride because I think Anarumo knew that was where they were going to attack. Wherever they had Edwards, and it looked like Edwards was matched up man-to-man against McBride, that's what Arizona was going to attack. And they lined up as if that was going to be the matchup, Edwards against McBride, but then Edwards bailed. The second man, Lamons, picked him up. And even if he grabbed a little bit of jersey, it was just a love tap. It was, there wasn't a whole lot.
and McBride was very upset, and he was trying to sell it a little bit too much too. I mean, you do a little bit too much trying to sell a call too, they might not want to call it your way.
So the Colts get the victory. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fun to say just an ugly win, and you'll take a win however you can, but obviously it does leave some concerns, especially regarding the defense, especially if Mooney, aka Charvarius Ward, is going to be out next week against the Chargers. I just feel like Anarumo can't let a loss of a player all of a sudden make him just want to go, scheme over individual matchups. I mean, you still have to rush, and there was times where there's just really bad pass rushing on Jacoby Brissett. So I was just mostly concerned about the defense, and like you hope that Ward may come back healthy next week. I doubt it though. He'll probably be out a week, but just get things tightened up. Maybe find a linebacker or a cornerback out there that's better than Edwards. But I'll take the ugly win at the end of the day.
Well, and the other thing here is that you brought it up. There was almost no pass rush.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you've got a secondary that can't cover people, and I understand you're taking a lot of risk if you start putting him in man-to-man. But the one thing is Jacoby Brissett, when he felt pressure coming, he was getting rid of it. He was just throwing it out of bounds, right? He did that three times.
Yeah.
And so I thought that's what you've got to do. You've got to get somebody close enough to Brissett that he bails off the reads and stops rather than getting to his third or fourth option. After the first two, he just throws it away because somebody might be open if you try to go after him and blitz. But you can't just sit back, no pressure, and let him pick you apart because they were getting guys open. He looked comfortable in the pocket for the most part. And that's very disappointing that the Colts couldn't get pressure with a 3 or 4 man rush. And I mean, no pressure.
Yeah, I mean, there were times even when the pocket did collapse and it looked like the Colts were going to get to him that he was able to just run forward for a first down a couple times too. So just even if you get the pocket to collapse, the blockers were still doing enough, getting him a first down run.
Yeah, I just didn't think enough effort was there. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Pin
Yeah.
your ears back and go get him. You've got to find a way to get to him. Game's on the line.
Yeah, especially if you are able to collapse the pocket, you can't just let him run forward for 9 or 10 yards. I mean, they all went for it, but then there was nobody there to get him afterwards. So, yeah, you got to get him if you're going to go for him too.
I thought the defensive play calling was too vanilla, but again, and I tweeted during the game or posted on X, depending on your preference, but I put a post out there and said, is this Gus Bradley calling the defense once again? Because the Colts were lining up at the line of scrimmage, 2 linebackers. They were in their nickel or dime package, but the bottom line was everything looked like it was very easy to read. Like they would know this is zone, this is cover 2, whatever the defense was. They mixed up some man and zone coverages, but it seemed like both of them had guys open. But the one time the Colts seemed to be most effective was when they did send an extra rusher or a blitz, some type of blitz package to get pressure quickly on Brissett. Brissett didn't want to sit in the pocket. He wasn't comfortable when he saw the blitz coming, and he was unloading the football. So I thought they could have been more aggressive defensively in the second half. And, I mean, Arizona got the ball into plus territory so quickly. on a couple of those drives in the second half. And then it was like, okay, is it going to end up in a field goal or a
Mhm.
touchdown? Because they got into position so quickly.
Yeah.
But anyway, Colts get the victory 31-27. They're 5-1, and Jacksonville lost today.
Yes,
So the
sir.
Colts are all alone first place in the AFC South, and they've got a chance to continue. I guess they will continue to hold the number one seed in the AFC, which they came into the day as the number one seed. And I know it was not an AFC opponent. That's one of the tiebreakers. So I don't know if it will swing because they didn't play an AFC team today, but they came into the day holding the tiebreaker. The Bills are going to be playing tomorrow night, and they play an NFC team. They play Atlanta. So the
Mm.
Bills aren't going to gain any advantage with an AFC opponent. I think the Colts are going to be still the number one seed. Could you imagine the number one seed? I wonder what odds that would have paid back if you'd have bet that before the season.
Probably pretty good, but yeah, no, Colts defense is going to have to be better against Herbert next week.
Um, Adam, have you ever heard me say that I thought this year's Indiana team was going to be better than last year's Indiana team?
I have heard you say that. Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah. I mean, since the offseason, no
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
I just want to make that point because all of a sudden now the national people are jumping on board and saying, I think this team's better than last year's team.
Oh, I was wrong about Indiana. I thought they hadn't really played competition this season yet, but now this
What?
win over Oregon. Now I believe.
You would think if these national people wanted to be educated, informed, and look more intelligent to their national audiences, they would find this little podcast, this little show, and educate themselves because we get it right a lot more often than we get it wrong. And we told you, Indiana, because of their success last year, they were able to bring in a better pool of talent. They were able to pick from that pool who they specifically needed. They still had some holdovers. I love Aiden Fisher, man. That dude's a football player. I just love what he brings. But, you take the receivers with Cooper and Surratt. You take an upgrade at quarterback, and it's nothing against the quarterback from last year, Roche, whatever his name was. Can't even remember now. Curtis, whatever.
Rourke?
Yeah.
There we go.
See how much I remember? It's like now
I had to
I've
pull
got
that from
brain
the
fog.
vault too.
One of my symptoms. I'm gonna throw it on one of my symptoms. I'll say that's brain fog.
There you go.
But Fernando Mendoza. But what a drive! I mean, this whole game came down to one drive. Momentum shifting. All of a sudden, the Hoosiers found Oregon with some momentum. The game was tight. It was going to be decided late. And all Fernando Mendoza did after throwing that pick six was go right back on the field, lead his team 75 yards in 12 plays, go ahead touchdown. And then, of course, the defense did the rest with the 2 interceptions. But that is some money ball right there. That's the way you get it done on the road against a top 5 team. And the Hoosiers, as of today, are now the number 3 team in the country, according to the AP poll.
Let's freaking go, man. What else can you say besides let's freaking go? I mean, how about the defense holding Oregon to that in the fourth quarter and like 15 yards, something like that? And how about that interception late to seal it? I mean, what an absolute moment. This was the statement win that's, like we said, that Indiana's needed for this season to get all
It's
the mainstreamers on there. So I'm just saying, let's freaking go.
It's the signature win.
Oh,
Not statement.
I like it.
Signature win.
Did you come up with that?
But the whole point with Indiana getting this victory was, being able to go into a place where they had won 18 straight home games. I mean, I thought that they had established some respect nationally when they whooped the pants off Illinois at home. Apparently not, because you still sat there and watched all the people from ESPN picking one after another, taking Oregon. Pat McAfee, the only one.
It became Illinois not that good of a team after Indiana beat them. So, but they can't say that about Oregon. So
Illinois got exposed.
Yeah, I guess.
But now there's no question. A win at Iowa, who, by the way, went into Wisconsin and beat Wisconsin 38-0, I think it was. And the Big Ten coach that got fired wasn't the Wisconsin coach. We've got to talk about that too.
We'll do that later, yeah.
There's a new American dream. We used to think the American dream was being hired as a college football coach or a college basketball coach, making millions of dollars, being on the sideline of your favorite team. No, the American dream is getting fired from one of those jobs and making $50 million to do nothing.
It's quite
That's the American dream.
It's quite the severance package, and it could be a retirement package for James Franklin. I don't know, but that's just $50 million.
I'm like, wait a minute. You're actually going to do this? You're going to get rid of me to give me a $50 million check, and I don't have to deal with all this crap anymore? No NIL, no, no dealing with the boosters, the angry fans, oh man. Yeah. All right. We got to talk some Pacers and Fever because our guest is now standing by. And so we always enjoy. I tell you, he's the best. I mean, when you talk about Pacers and Fever coverage, I mean, he's even branched out now to where he's doing like national hits. I mean, the guy is just big time. Let's bring him on. Scott Agness from the Fieldhouse Files. Good afternoon, Scott, or good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, guys. What's going on?
Yeah, we're not nearly as attractive as some of the people that you've had the chance to share a podcast screen with. Rachel Demita, she is excellent, and you guys together killed it. I'll say that. That was a very entertaining podcast that you two did together.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one because it was one of those situations where there are so many people right now on YouTube trying to capitalize off of the Fever and Caitlin's name. And I totally get it if you're as an entrepreneurial spirit. The challenge with all that is they're discrediting us reporters that are there, boots on the ground, or things like that, or they're calling people out or using these outlandish YouTube titles. And I'm like, come on, this is the journalism that none of us can respect. If you're going to call something out and it's valid, I am good with that. Nonetheless, to your point, though, I loved kind of hitting all the key subjects that I've been reporting on throughout the year and doing it with someone who has been following closely from afar. So she had a great understanding, and she would poke me for a little bit more info on each of the different subjects. So that was a fun conversation.
She showed tremendous respect. You guys had a lot of respect for each other, and it came through in the podcast that you both respected each other's opinion and thoughts on the subject. She trusted your professionalism and understanding from being on the inside what was going on with this Fever team. But that's why we've got you on here. Before we get to the Pacers, we've got to talk about the state of the WNBA because it is.
How much time do you guys have?
It's a shambles. I mean, it's a mess.
We could go 3 hours, Brett, just on this subject alone.
Yeah, I know. It's incredibly with Kathy Engelbert and her comments and where that's going to stand, and can there be a CBA and any kind of negotiation with this commissioner sitting on the other side of the table? Where does this league go right now? I mean, what is the next step? Is it going to be pressure to change the commissioner? Is it going to be sit and wait? Is it a lockout? Is it a strike? What do we got? Where does this league go?
Well, the reality is you have like a 2-month buffer where it's not that big a deal if not much ground is made, right? The challenge, though, the unique challenge in this offseason is, forget the CBA, is you have not one but 2 expansion teams. Last year, it wasn't until like a week before did we learn the criteria and how many players teams could protect. It was 6, and they didn't require any of the teams to announce it. So that kind of, I thought, out of respect to the players, I get it, but out of respect to your fans, I think it would have created how much conversation could we have leading into a random Tuesday about, all right, here's the deadline, here are the 5, but we got 3 players here. You think one, Adam thinks one, I think another. I think that's a different way to drive conversation. Now, again, going back to where they're at right now, clearly they're not close. They never have been close, and it's on a variety of issues. The alarming thing I would say from a player's standpoint is they feel like their message isn't getting through, and it goes beyond the salary. We all know, all of us want to get paid more, no question. But it's player treatment, it's the scheduling, it's officiating. Nobody in this league, I don't think, can agree that the officiating should be done in this manner, and so that's a real problem. Whether it's coaches, players, media, etc., you got to figure that out in the grand scheme of things too, because it's become a turnoff. There are fans I know or email me and DMing me, I can't watch this anymore. Like it one game it feels like it's a football game, and the other it feels like willy-nilly they can do whatever they want, and you get or on the vice versa, you got 5 players in foul trouble. It's got to become a likable, watchable product again. So long-winded way of saying, I think 2 months from now, I'm not too worried. After that, though, then things get tricky because you got to jumpstart this thing. You have so many things you need to accomplish this offseason, and more than anything, Brett, you need to build off of these 2 years. You have to keep this thing on going. The last thing you want is a month delay into the season, because already the season's too short for how many games they want to stuff into one. That would be one of my big concerns if I was a player on the panel.
Does Adam Silver have to be more proactive with the WNBA, and can he be?
I don't think so in terms of does he need to be. I think from a league standpoint, it probably wouldn't be the best thing if it's like, if he comes in, Kathy's done, right? Like, you can't have this outside influence and the male versus female thing. It's like, well, the female like, that's not a good look. I think you got to remember here, Kathy's still in her job too, because the owners like what she's doing. And the unique dynamic in all this is it's not a simple ownership thing here. The owners don't own 100% of the pot, and it's let's just slice 50%. Now it's complicated. It's like there was an investment group that put in $75 million. I want to say they own like 16 or 17%. I think the NBA owners own like 40%. Don't quote me on the numbers, but this, you're kind of getting an idea of there's like 4 ways this has to be split, which overly complicates now how you solve this puzzle. So it can't just be, say, a 51-49 split of basketball-related income. Those are the conversations, Brett, we're having from an NBA standpoint when you're doing a CBA. That just doesn't work and doesn't make sense when it comes to this league.
Last question for you, Scott. 2 months. You said you've got a kind of a 2-month buffer here. When those 2 months tick off, will Kathy Engelbert be the commissioner of the WNBA?
So far, I don't know why not. Yes, there's players that dislike her, but again, I go back to like your owner in no matter league you're talking about. That's the buffer between the ownership group. The commissioner reports to the league owners. Those are the stakeholders that are responsible for her job. So as long as they're happy, and I don't think we've heard any owner publicly at least come out and say otherwise. There certainly have been some GMs or coaches. But again, that's more, I think, about in terms of relationships. That's in terms of officiating, issues that every league is having. It just feels like this one is way above the level of most. And so right now, I don't think there's any indication that it would move on from Kathy. You got to remember, too, by the way, Kathy's the first commissioner. In years past, in the first 25 years or so, Brett, it had always been I think a president was the role. And so there's a whole new role where she has to establish all these new things. One of the things she always brings up is the fact, I think she came in and there was like 2 marketing people. That's how scarce the resources were, because they had to keep the budget tight because it wasn't profitable. Now things are totally different. I think there are like over 20 of those individuals, but there's still, and that one's one of them, but in terms of PR and broadcasting and all that, where they need to continue to grow and expand, use less NBA resources, and become a legitimate league that they are now.
Let's go ahead and transition to the NBA, because the Pacers are on the court. We're seeing kind of our first look at some of the new faces that are going to be part of this team. I'm curious on the injury front, because it's hard to keep track. Guys are going to miss games just because they get rest and they're not needed to play preseason. I don't know if there was rest involved last night or if there's anything to be seriously concerned about with some of the roster moves. But we did see Furphy have to leave the game. Apparently that is a sprained ankle. How are the Pacers as far as overall health right now?
Yeah, not a good spot because it's all at one position, Brett. Like, that's the bizarre thing here. Coming into the season, if we had this show 1 week ago, it's center. What does the center spot look like is my biggest question mark coming into this season. And it's not just because Miles Turner's gone for the first time in a decade. With him moving on, there would be a big question mark. More than that, is the fact you have two guys that are less than a year removed from Achilles tendon surgery, which is the worst surgery I believe you can have in sports today, basically. And then more than that, you got a newcomer in Jay Huff, who seems like a great backup solution. And then Tony Bradley probably won't make the cut. He's the fourth big outside looking in. But you got to keep him in the short term, just given the fact that you don't know what Isaiah Jackson and James Wiseman look like coming off an Achilles injury. Now, from a point guard standpoint, we know Halliburton. Well, now we know TJ McConnell is going to be out at least a month with a hamstring strain. That suggests to me a grade 2 out of grade 3. You'd want a grade 1. That'd be a couple weeks. That's not good for a backup point guard that already was going to have a heavy and larger workload, given the fact that Nembhard, who was playing your 2, slides over to the 1. So one of the many concerns, I think, coming into the season regardless was how does Nembhard balance being the number 1 defensive player with now being the quarterback on the floor, being the one leading the offense. And that's even more complicated when you factor in how little the coach plays with this team. How it's free-flowing, how it's getting them to his sets, it's reading, reacting. So there's a lot of pressure in a good way, I think, on Nembhard. But to summarize, you had McConnell with an injury. Already you had Ben Shepherd dealing with a calf strain. You had Cam Jones, their top rookie, who was 38th overall pick, dealing with a back issue. That's going to keep him out at least a couple of weeks. I don't expect to see Ben Shepherd in the preseason. So that means he's had a limited training camp, which I don't like for a guy who you're probably going to rely on a lot this season, even more so with McConnell out in the interim. Then you get to the game that was the other night, another win, but don't read too much out of that game. I mean, the Thunder left 10 players back in Oklahoma City, basically all their bigs too. It's weird. You can schedule your own preseason. They scheduled 6 games. That's a high number. Maybe a younger roster. They want the bench guys. Pacers and most teams schedule about 4. This is game 2 of 4. And in that game, Furphy sprained ankle. Did not seem too bad. I believe that was probably we're going to hold you out. It's preseason. This is precautionary. You have less than 2 weeks till the opener. And then Quentin Jackson, a sore hamstring. That's a little bit concerning to me. Ankle sprains happen. Now that you have 2 hamstrings, I don't like that so far in camp. So they are very thin at that point guard spot. So I don't know how much we'll be able to make out of these final 2 preseason games as they kind of do some patchwork while also probably providing some light work to the veterans who had a shortened offseason given the fact that they played till like June 23rd.
Is it just me, or does Indianapolis have a scientific anomaly of the number of quad, hamstring, and Achilles injuries that are happening in basketball?
Right.
I mean, mathematically, it seems like we're way out of proportion.
I mean, just go back to the Fever's dumb luck. Their assistant coach suffers an Achilles injury, torn, had to have surgery. That was in Phoenix where they had all kinds of bad luck. That's where Caitlin Clark did her ankle. Sydney Colson tore her ACL. Ari McDonald suffered a broken bone in her foot. Sophie Cunningham tweaked her ankle. Just brutal. Yeah, it does feel like it because if you include Keith Porter, not a player, that's 4 torn Achilles in less than a year. When I think not last year, but the year before, there was like 1, I want to say, in the entire NBA. Last year, I think there were 7. The Pacers had 3 of them. Weird.
All right, so what are the big question marks for the Pacers starting this season? Obviously, point guard is probably the biggest one, but Mike, I guess one of them that comes from me is you've got 3 centers, maybe slightly varying skill sets. I don't know. I want to get your opinion on how similar these 3 guys are, and can they run a consistent offense using each of the 3 guys they have right now at center on the roster?
Yeah, I think from an offensive standpoint, it's going to be very much the same to the most of their ability, right? Like Tyrese is very unique in what he provides out there. But what I mean by that is the pace, the tempo, offensively, defensively, pressuring full court, trying to cause chaos, trying to make teams work so they get it across the timeline and there's 12 seconds on the shot clock or 15, whatever it is. I think that's all the same. I am not too worried, Brett, about the center skill sets being different because I kind of like that actually. I like if they can depending on your matchup, maybe you need more space, spread 5 and space it out with a 3-point threat versus another one. Maybe you need Isaiah Jackson to lean on more, a guy that can run the floor, can rebound, high fly a little bit, more of a fundamental guy. And Jay Huff, who's agile, who's looking for as many block shots as he can out there, who's very good in the pick and roll situation. So to me, that is a strength from that position. Throw out the injuries because that's always a concern with any team. I would say generally I'm looking to that starting lineup and who steps up from the new guys. Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, they are new to that starting lineup. How does that look given their losses and Halliburton due to injury and Turner to free agency? How does Nembhard handle shouldering the load like I referenced earlier on both sides of the ball? And then what do we see from a couple of the young guys, Jarris Walker, Johnny Furphy? I think both of those guys, Walker in particular, will be thrusted into a role actually versus last time it was kind of in emergency only and Furphy was down there at the bench as a 19-year-old rookie just trying to figure things out. And I think those two provide things in a very different way, provide some length, provide more size. I'm curious with Jarris Walker how much he's absorbed over the last 2 years because things were a little quick for him. And quite frankly, he was asked to defend very differently at Houston versus how he's asked to defend here. Those two need to step up and play a big role for that bench that now also will look different with TJ McConnell out for at least the first month.
Scott, how does the loss of Tyrese Halliburton, from what you've heard, how does this change the Pacers' approach, like in the Eastern Conference? From what you've heard from players and coaches, do you view them as still trying to contend in the East, or is this year, have you heard, maybe become more of a year focusing on developing some of those young guys and getting ready for the return of Halliburton?
No, not the latter. In talking to the players, coaches, they don't want to hear anything about the future or a gap year or none of that. While I don't think they're a contending team, obviously, with the losses, I think this absolutely is a team that should be in the playoffs, especially a weekend East. Like, I'm not saying they're a top 2 or 3 seed, but to see them finish in 5th or 6th would not surprise me whatsoever and should be the goal, I think, in all this, if the health will play along. Now, given the way things have started, maybe it's going to be forced into a year where you're just stringing along a lineup, much like the Fever. I hope not, out of my own sanity, because this Fever season from that standpoint, Adam, was not fun at all, where practice was about who was not there and when they're going to be an update versus like, how about the hell of a season for Kelsey Mitchell or whatever the subject matter there. But no, these players want to continue building off of what they did last season, continue to show, hey, look, I know everybody's discounting us, but it's not a fluke. We have talent, and also we got young guys behind us who now, with an opportunity, can evolve and develop their own games from it.
Outside of Andrew Nembhard, who would you have as being the player that also needs to step up the most this season for the Pacers?
Mathurin. No question. It's Benedict Mathurin for a multitude of reasons. It's year 4, so kind of excuses about knowing what you need from the system, those don't fly anymore. And so far, so good, by the way. I've told he has an all different, much improved focus level. Like the dude is locked in, is how it's been described to me about his level right now. Now, can he maintain it? Can he find his points to attack when he can? Because that's really him at his best version, right? It's where defenses are playing off of him, or he can attack and get to the line. Him and Siakam will certainly battle, I think, for most free throw attempts on the team. That's one of his strengths. And I think one of the big things, Adam, he's done better of over the last year is play within the flow of everything, versus he's very much a slow it down, dribble, maybe attack on his own, whereas Rick Carlisle really wants this, make a split decision, whether it's attack, whether it's pass, and go, because we want the defense on their heels. And so to me, it's without question Mathurin. Also the fact that he's in a contract year. So that can sometimes complicate things. Sometimes players play selfish. Other players can really capitalize on this moment where they're going to be utilized more. And so he can really bet on himself and be set up for the best opportunity. Because also 2 years ago, he missed out on the big run to the conference finals. So I think he learned a lot in this past year, the run to the finals, and now a big opportunity is ahead of him.
Maybe it's just me, Scott, but I don't feel like there's been a real shift of power. Like a year ago, I think we were talking about some of the new names and faces that were shifting with the Knicks and and Philadelphia and all. Do we think most of the favorites are still the favorites? Is there anybody who made any big, bold, ball busting moves that that are going to be out there that could make them all of a sudden a favorite in the East or the West?
Well, Milwaukee made the boldest move of them all, paying Lillard to go away. You talk about good gigs and head coaches. The player that is waived and stretched probably is number 2 on that list. Ultimately, I think Lillard's getting $50 million from the Bucks to go away, and then getting, I want to say, another 10 or 15 from the Portland Trailblazers to be the veteran this year as he rehabs from an Achilles injury as well. So he's making out nicely. Now, does that increase their chances? No, I don't feel like the Bucks are too much more of a threat by any means. You have Giannis, so it's a team that's interesting, that's going to compete and should be in the playoffs, certainly. The Knicks are trying to prove that they're more than just a hard-playing team that can continue to advance. But to me, I think it's mostly the same. The Celtics obviously drop off quite a bit. The Magic might be my favorite team to see what they can do this year. Last year, they had a bad rash of luck injuries. Just constant flow of guys being out and missing time. And they made a few upgrades. So reality is there's no dominant team or obvious selection in the East. You probably, though, would put the Cavs at the top just from a talent standpoint and what they did last season during the regular season before suffering injuries and flaming out against the Pacers.
Absolutely. Scott, always appreciate you. And of course, Fieldhouse Files is where everybody should go to get their Pacers coverage. It has expanded so greatly over the decade. Love getting the emails and reading what you're posting. Everybody should probably let you, rather than me, so I don't screw it up, let you give all the details on where to find information about Fieldhouse Files, where to follow you on social media, all of that.
Sure, appreciate it. No, it's pretty straightforward. Just my name on social media at Scott Agness, Twitter, Instagram, and online, fieldhousefiles.com, and the Fieldhouse Files podcast. So that's where I would direct people if they want even more of me, which I don't know why you would, but there you go.
No, it's great stuff. Always appreciate your time, too. Have a great rest of the evening. Thanks so
All
much.
Right, very well. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Scott.
That is Scott Agness, and if I can do this correctly, I'll just, there we go, just bump him to the side.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, always good to get caught up on the Pacers. And yeah, looks like it's going to be a lot of Nembhard and Mathurin having to step up.
All right, we said we would talk about it. James Franklin gets the boot at Penn State. Number one, I am very surprised because I didn't think a lot has changed other than a couple of bad losses, but you know, it makes me feel like it's a pretty quick decision. Maybe there was something burning or brewing behind the scenes, and the losses just made it that much of more of an issue. I'm surprised. I thought they might evaluate it after the season, and certainly not making the college football playoffs would be a bad look for James Franklin. And I've never been a big James Franklin fan. I've always felt like he was kind of handed a gift of a program that was in really great shape, that always had good recruits, had money to support it, and some of the X's and O's, especially in big time games, I thought he failed. And he did this year against Oregon. But problem is he followed that up with a failure against the winless UCLA, who was adjusting to a new coach that week, and they come out and smoke Penn State. Now, Penn State came back in that game, but UCLA raced out to a 27-7 halftime lead on Penn State before the Nittany Lions kind of got things together, made it a little bit interesting, but UCLA still gets the win. And then they fall at home in Sad Valley to Northwestern.
Yeah.
I know Drew Aller got hurt, left the game, but
that shouldn't matter. I mean, a team like Penn State should be able to win against Northwestern with their backup quarterback.
And so James Franklin is reportedly getting a $50 million buyout, or at least something close to that. And
they said over 49. They didn't say 50, but they said over 49.
49. Oh, okay. Well,
whatever.
Doggone, it's going to cost him. It's going to cost him at least one of the cars he could have bought. Yeah.
Darn. Oh well. But no, I mean, it's just the losses got worse and worse. I mean, the Oregon one, that's excusable. You know, you lose to a top 10 team in overtime, but then it just gets worse and worse. I mean, UCLA, they tried to come back, and I guess you could say, oh, they're on the road, blah, blah, blah. But then to lose to Northwestern at home, it's just, that was the nail in the coffin. And they'll find a way to pay it. They'll find a way. They'll get money. I mean, they've got a new Adidas deal worth $300 million some next year. So who knows?
Yeah, there won't be a problem with the money, but it is, as I said, it's the new definition of the American dream. Used to be work hard, get your dream job,
Do
be
well
a
at it.
coach at a major program, and get the best contract you can get, be one of the highest paid coaches in the country, and maybe you get a 5-year deal worth $49-50 million. And that would be one of the top paid coach. Now you can get fired and make all that money right now. Of course, I think there's probably some type of payment plan. I'm not sure how they're going to pay it out, but it's still a ton of money to do nothing and not have the stress of having to win and prepare and be away from your family and deal with NIL and deal with recruiting 16, 17-year-old kids. And I'm like, really? That's a way to get paid now, is to do nothing and collect on a buyout?
Can buy a very nice hideaway away from all the angry Penn State fans in unhappy Valley there.
So I am looking at the rankings this week. The Indiana Hoosiers, we mentioned earlier, they're up to number 3 behind only Ohio State and Miami. And you could probably make an argument if you look head to head against both against Illinois with Ohio State and Indiana. Indiana just absolutely crushed the Illini. Ohio State beat them, but only beat them by 16 or 18 points. What was it? 34-16, 34-18. So you can make an argument that head to head, if you look at common opponents, maybe Indiana's got the advantage. But Indiana, number 3, and I know there are some people that were posting, they think Indiana's the best team in the country. They are a legitimate national title contender. There's no reason other than the only thing that would hold anybody back from admitting that Indiana's a national title contender is the fact that you've lived through some of the years that Indiana has had in football, and you just can't imagine ever making the statement that Indiana football is a national title contender. It just doesn't come out of your mouth because you've been taught to know better. That sounds like a really dumb thing to say, but the truth is Indiana is really good. They don't have a weakness. They've got a solid offensive line. They're really good in the defensive front. They're linebackers. They're 2 linebackers all over the field making plays. Pretty good in the secondary. They've, the problem with the secondary is it's not a bad secondary. They've just made coverage blunders. And they got beat a couple of times deep over the top, and they had one against Oregon. But look at how teams score against that defense. They score by breaking a big play and taking advantage of a coverage mistake or a execution mistake. And like all the way back against Old Dominion with the 2 quarterback runs for 70-some yards each. And then, the other, if you look at the plays that have beaten Indiana, it seems like it's big plays, broken plays. It is not 12-play, 75-yard drives like what Indiana just did to Oregon. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Yeah. So, it just becomes a matter of just kind of eliminating those big plays. Sometimes you can get so focused on your standard defense that you kind of can get tricked by things that you don't expect. But like you said, hard to argue with the results so far. Just, good stuff.
All right. So it's Ohio State. Miami is number 2. Indiana's a better football team than Miami. I will go on record and say that, and I will hold to it if those 2 meet in the college football playoffs, that Indiana is a better overall football team than the Miami Hurricanes. Number 4 is Texas A&M. Now, Texas A&M, they've got coming up, LSU is their next opponent. Arkansas. Then they play LSU on October 25th on the road. And then they play Missouri on the road. And they end with Texas on the road. So they've got 3 tough road games. I could see them losing at least one of those. And they currently are ranked 4th in the country. 5th is Mississippi. they're going to drop a game. I can't imagine that Mississippi is going to go undefeated. Alabama's already lost a game. Texas Tech right now 6-0, and Texas Tech, they don't have quite as tough a schedule. They got Arizona State on the road at Arizona State. They'll host Oklahoma State, who of course is really bad. They go to Kansas State, that's under 500. Toughest game for Texas Tech, they do get at home when they host BYU on November 8th. But both those teams right now 6-0, but that game will be at Texas Tech. Let's see. Number 8 is Oregon. That's where the Ducks fell.
Gotcha.
Georgia, number 9.
Beat
Georgia,
Auburn.
not invincible. And then number 10 is LSU. That's your top 10 as of this week.
All right. Hey, Indiana, number 3.
All right.
I know.
And Indiana's schedule.
Yeah.
Can they go undefeated? Because here's where it's interesting. I think we all expected Indiana would be the favorite in every game except Oregon, Penn State, both on the road. Well, they took care of Oregon.
Yep. And
And
Penn
now the
State.
question is, how much do you fear Penn State? Well, how will Penn State respond? They've lost their quarterback. They've lost their coach. That game is November 8th. So about 4 weeks away.
I mean, I can tell you Indiana will be favored. I don't see any situation where Indiana isn't favored in this game.
If Penn State beats Ohio State.
I mean, yeah, but is that going to happen now? My goodness.
Penn State plays Ohio State the week before they play Indiana, which is actually perfect. Let them, let
Sure.
Ohio State rough them up and beat them up, and then Indiana come in.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. But yeah, I mean, especially with Aller out, new coach, it's going to be rough. You have to imagine.
Yeah, right now, as of right now, Indiana, according to the matchup predictor, 71.3% chance to beat Penn State on the road at Penn State. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just given the current situation, yeah, sounds about right, honestly.
So Indiana's games remaining. They've got 2 home games now against Michigan State and UCLA. They should be heavily favored to win both of those games.
Yes.
And I know UCLA's had a resurgence, and somebody's going to say UCLA's been really good since Deshaun Foster's gone. Indiana still beat UCLA by 28, 29 points last year, and this year's team is better. So Indiana should win that game at home.
Yes.
So Indiana, Michigan State, UCLA, both at home. Then they go to Maryland. They go to Penn State. They come home and take on a Wisconsin team that they should definitely beat. And they end by a road trip to Purdue, who they will beat. They've got a very good chance of running the table and being an undefeated team heading to the Big Ten championship game. Because they don't play Ohio State.
There you go. No,
you could
Ohio
have 2 unbeatens. Ohio State. You could have 2 unbeatens with Ohio State and Indiana, and you could have Oregon as a 1 loss in the Big Ten.
Yeah, but I mean, you mentioned it. I mean, Michigan State, Purdue, and Wisconsin all currently 0-3 in the Big Ten. So yeah, good stuff coming up on the schedule for Indiana.
All right. Do we have any of the brackets out yet?
Yeah, we do. I can tell you, I've been kind of keeping up with this a little bit. We've got 1A and 2A, and we're starting to get into 3A. In Class A, it's going to be Blackhawk Christian taking on Fremont in Sectional 43, as well as Southern Wells versus Triton, North Miami versus Northfield. Southwood got the bye. They'll play the North Miami Northfield winner. Moving on to Class 2A in Sectional.
2A has 2A. I want to jump in. 2A has a very intriguing sectional because you've got Adams Central mixed in with Bluffton, who they just beat on Friday.
Yep.
Cherubusco, I believe, is part of that sectional.
Yep.
I think Eastside is in that sectional.
You bet.
That's going to be an intriguing one. What is that the one you've got?
Yeah, I do. So starting off in the first round of that sectional 35, you've got Prairie Heights taking on Manchester, Whitco versus Eastside. Adams Central will be taking on Central Noble, and it'll be Bluffton versus Churubusco.
Okay, so Bluffton and Churubusco got the like the 8 balls of ping pong balls. The
Pretty
eight ball
much.
because they have to play each other.
Yep.
The winner will then have to play Adams Central. And then if you win that, you'll go on to a championship where you'll probably play Eastside.
Yeah, that's tough, no question about it.
So, you look at a sectional field that has 4 really good teams, and Churubusco Bluffton are going to have to beat 3. They aren't going to have anybody else do their dirty work. They've got to basically take care of everybody.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
it's the
tough.
longest path, no question about it, in that sectional.
So
I'm
first
seeing
round game is Bluffton at Churubusco.
It just says versus. Unfortunately, it doesn't say which it's at.
Well, who's on the bottom line?
I'm looking on a journalism site that's following along here. I'm on IndyStar.
Oh,
Not to give them a plug,
I thought
but
you were looking at the bracket
no, you're good.
because I thought whoever's on the bottom, I think is going to be the home team.
Hmm.
The way they draw it.
Yeah, I don't have the brackets just yet because they're just flashing across the screens. But we'll get them. We'll get them posted.
Because that would be an intriguing first round matchup. We don't know
Definitely.
where we're going to be for week 1.
No, we don't. I'm trying
But
to see
remember,
if
we don't have 5A and 6A to choose from.
Right,
Now,
exactly.
Class 4A is going to be very intriguing as well because you're going to have Bishop Dwenger, East Noble, Leo, and even DeKalb, all in sectional 19.
Yeah, DeKalb's no slouch at all.
Well, we'll find out a lot about DeKalb this Friday because they host Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the battle for second place in the NE8. Both of those teams have been defeated by East Noble.
Mm-hmm.
Now they will play each other to determine which one gets second place in the NE8 conference. But
gotcha.
That game would be secondary to what if they would happen to draw each other the following week, which this happens all the time. I don't know how, but I'm just waiting for it to happen. That Leo will play at DeKalb to end the season, and those same 2 teams will meet the following week to open up sectional play because they're in the same sectional.
It happens. It can happen.
I don't think they've drawn 4A yet. I think that's coming up here in the next hour.
Yeah, they just started 3A. I'm trying to see if we can wait just a little bit longer because they're about to get to sectional 26. Oh, here we go. Sectional 26 in class 3A. Again, I don't have the locations yet, but I can tell you in sectional 26 class 3A, it's going to be Garrett taking on Fairfield. You've got Woodland versus Lakeland, Tippy Valley versus Angola, and it'll be Concordia taking on West Noble.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
We don't know where any of those games are going to take place.
Not yet. I don't have the actual brackets, just the matchups.
Trying to see because I actually put the pairing show on a second screen I've got here. I can't reach it to key in it, but I turned it on to IHSAA TV, and I turned it on before the stream started. Apparently, there's another button I've got to hit. All it says is in the screen, it says the live stream has started.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see anything.
Right. I'll see what I can find.
So I was watching to see if it came popping up. But anyway, we'll be posting those. I know I usually go in and screen grab the graphics if I can find them. If I stay awake past 10 minutes after this podcast, I'll try to do that.
Here we go. It's looking like it's going to be Garrett at. I should have hit pause. It kept going on me. Here we go. Garrett at Fairfield, Woodland at Lakeland, Tippy Valley at Angola, and Concordia at West Noble for 3A sectional 26.
Nothing shocking there as far as that's not one of those high drama sectionals, like where
No,
you've got, because 3A, you would have Bishop Lures
here
to
we
keep
go.
an
All
eye
right.
on.
Yeah, I've got the Class 2A sectional 35 bracket up here now as well. So it's going to be Prairie Heights at Manchester. Whitco is going to be at Eastside.
East side
Central,
will be Whitco.
yep. Central Noble will be at Adams Central. And it will be Bluffton at Churubusco.
Okay. So not a bad draw for getting everybody home games, the top seeds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Bluffton at Churubusco, we might have to go up and get a chance to snag some pork burgers.
Up in Turtletown.
Turtletown,
Yeah, that's always an option.
Bluffton, Churubusco. Bluffton, ACAC, Churubusco, NECC. Churubusco, small school, winner of the NECC division. So that's just my first thought, but we still got to wait and see what happens in 4A. So no promises, Churubusco. Just saying that's a really good first round matchup coming up on October 24th.
Let's see. Class 3A sectional 28 bracket came out real quick. We've got Miss Assiniboia going to Oak Hill. That's kind of out of our region, but we got Jay County taking on Belmont. That'll be at Belmont in the first round. It'll be Norwell at Heritage, and Bishop Lures has to go to Delta for the first round of that Class 3A sectional 28.
Probably the two toughest teams in that entire sectional.
Yeah.
Lures and Delta. All right. Well, we will again.
We'll follow along.
Follow along, and we will let you know where we're going to be for our game of the week, presented by Midwest Box Breaks. Is there anything else I was supposed to cover today?
I think we hit it all. Let's see. We got a couple comments here. Rick weighing in. He said there's a report on social media that Adidas is paying most, if not all, of James Franklin's buyout. I saw that. I didn't see.
Why did Adidas want him gone? That seems weird, doesn't it?
Because they're going to be the new sponsor next season, and I guess they don't want him being there when they sponsor. But that's all I could figure from that one. And then
do they want their own coach? I mean, it seems weird that when you get an apparel company, does James Franklin not look good in Adidas attire? Did James Franklin, was he fighting Adidas coming in?
They want their logo on a winning coach. That's what they want.
Doesn't Indiana have Adidas?
I think so. Yeah.
Huh. So their coach got a relationship with Adidas.
Yeah, and then Ryan said he's worried about losing Signetti to Penn State. I don't think it'll happen. I think
I just want Ryan to worry a little bit more.
Sweat.
Look, Kurt Signetti's got the best job in America right now, and it would not be if he went to Penn State. He would be paid more, perhaps. I don't know how far Indiana's willing to go.
Yeah, I would stay at Indiana personally.
But you've got a stadium that holds 107,000 versus a stadium that holds 59,000. So, you would think maybe resources just on ticket sales and all. But Kurt Signetti right now is building a program that will be his program. It's like Bear Bryant. It's like Joe Paterno. It's like, Frank Broyles. I mean, you can go on and on and on. All the coaches, Bo Schembechler.
Mm-hmm.
All the coaches that built their own program and put their stamp and their name on it forever live as a legend associated with that program.
And I mean,
he would not be that guy in Penn State.
And if he keeps winning the way he is in Indiana, they're going to have to build another 30,000 seats at the stadium because it's going to keep drawing more and more players.
Yeah,
and fans.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got his. He is.
We got to keep in mind
what he's done at IU already.
Right. This is a guy that came up from the ranks of, IU Pennsylvania, D2 and stuff like that.
Well, that's the thing. He's got Pennsylvania connections,
Don't scare Ryan still. No, come on. He's going to stay a Hoosier. Hoosier for life.
Lakeland will win that game, Ryan.
There you go. Yeah.
But I'd be really worried about Signetti. No, I'm kidding.
I don't think you have to worry about that one.
No, I really don't. I I really believe, because I think that Signetti is a pretty straight shooter, and I don't think he's a guy that's going to be moved or motivated. When he said, "Why would I leave? I'm building a superpower here," and he absolutely is building a superpower. And if you like Bloomington, and by all accounts, his family likes the Bloomington area, um, and you're getting paid comparable money,
Yeah.
and your job security and your booster relationships, and apparently he likes the AD and the president. They were both on the sideline for the game against Oregon. I don't know why you would seek that, but
I don't know. Doesn't seem like a money chaser to me. So,
and I
yeah.
don't even think it's chasing money. It'd be somebody who wants to chase the prestige of the Penn State name, and right now, I think
He wants to build
Indiana,
the prestige
can't
there.
say it's
Yeah.
a better program than Penn State, but he has built what Indiana's become, and Indiana can be spoken about on the same line as Penn State right now with recent success. Both were playoff teams a year ago. Indiana will probably make it again, or should make it again, and Penn State likely won't. I just don't see where the appeal is going to be to up and leave for a what I would say is, same level job. I mean, yeah, Penn State's got a great name, but and look at James Franklin. And James Franklin was winning 9 and 10 games, and that wasn't good enough. So
No.
you win 9 or 10 games every year you're at Indiana, you'll be a legend.
You'll get a statue.
They'll build a new stadium just for you with your name.
Kurt Signetti Field at
Yes.
Yeah. No, but
All right.
it's yeah.
We
They're
gotta
good.
wrap it up so we can do something else. I've got to lay down.
Yeah, you need some rest. I'm gonna probably watch.
My throat's getting sore. Actually, it's the most. I haven't talked for 2 days. I haven't been on the phone. Haven't.
Yeah, get some tea.
Pretty much laid on the couch like I was told to do. And the other thing too is they did tell me, even when you feel like you can do stuff, try to maintain your rest, because that time is the time your body's doing the best it can to fight the infection. Don't burn all your energy doing something different. So
there you go.
Got to do what my doctor told me. I got too much visual evidence going out into the world here.
You get some rest. I'm gonna watch the Mariners Blue Jays game at 8.
All right, who do you have, by the way? You got on the National League side, Dodgers, Brewers. Who goes to and I'm still going to go with Dodgers until I'm taught not to go with the Dodgers. So I'm going to take the Dodgers to win the National League pennant. Who are you taking on the American League side?
It's got to be Blue Jays, man. They handled the Yankees very well. Mariners had to go in a dogfight in a Game 5 with the Detroit Tigers that went to the 15th inning. So yeah, I think that Blue Jays
Seattle's a great story.
Ready to go. Yeah, they're a good story.
A great story, but I can't take them. I think Seattle's got a chance to win a couple of games, but I'm kind of with you. I think Toronto's just a step above. But Seattle and Cal Raleigh, big dumper. I mean, that's been a great story to follow this year.
Man,
but I think it's going to be Toronto and the Dodgers.
Me too. I wish I could disagree, but I don't.
Yeah. All right.
All right, my man.
Keep everybody locked in on the channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. And be sure to share, comment, like, do all that fun stuff here on YouTube, because it certainly helps our channel grow. Big thanks to Adam Lundy for joining us. And I think he bailed on me before I got a chance to reset the screen. And now I'm kind of in a mess. Okay, there we go. But anyway, make sure you do get subscribed to our channel. We do post some videos, some shorts, and you want to make sure you view as much of those as you can. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon here on the Sports Rush.